It's no secret that sedans are slowly but surely being replaced by crossovers and SUVs, so much so that many brands have actually scrapped their sedan variants altogether. So it's quite strange how in 2020, Toyota has given us their most stylish and most expensive Corolla. Why? This is not your grandma's Toyota Corolla, nor is it the one that's going to arrive when you use a ride-hailing app. But that is exactly why Toyota has introduced this car. They want to change the narrative between this car being associated with an Uber to a car that you and I would want to happily park in our garage. Well, look at it. This has got to be one of the hottest sedans available right now. Well, what's left in the market. But honestly, I've walked around this car many times looking for things to fault, and I simply can't. The design is edgy, it's sophisticated, and it really looks good. You don't look at this car and think this is a budget vehicle. But that being said, this dark color does hide some of those design lines. So we would recommend a lighter or more vibrant color so you can really stand out in your Corolla. Who would have thought we can say that? This is a Toyota Corolla after all, so this car needs to stay true to its roots, and one of those roots are practicality. You'll notice when you open this door, it opens up nice and wide, meaning that if you're a tall person, you can get in and out of here with no problem. Or if you have a baby seat, you can take it in and out without scratching any surfaces.
While the boot can swallow up to 470 liters.
When you're sitting at the rear, you'll notice that you've got tons of legroom and headroom to play with. But the overall experience in here is very nice. It's comfortable to be in, the seats feel great. It's quite a nice premium experience. This is Uber Black. Speaking about premium, up front is where you truly appreciate what Toyota has done with this car. The materials feel good to touch, everything feels soft and plush. I've got contrasting stitching and piano black accents, but overall the cabin layout is quite minimalistic and tastefully executed. In terms of tech and spec, the Toyota Corolla does tick many boxes. I've got full electric windows, I've got auto headlamps, I've got cruise control, and I've got an electronically adjustable seat on the driver's side. What's nice to see is a digital instrument cluster and a touchscreen infotainment system. But this system had to be the one thing to let the package down, as it feels a bit outdated. However, its saving grace is the fact that it gives you Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So in terms of engines, we are looking at a 2-litre 4-cylinder, normally aspirated engine. It produces 125 kilowatts and 200 newton meters of torque. And those figures don't sound like much, but for the everyday driving experience, they work just fine. So for those of you who are well acquainted with the Toyota brand, you'll know that the Toyota hatch uses a turbocharged engine, a 1.2-litre turbocharged engine, the same one that you'd find in a Toyota CHR. And in a perfect world, that's the engine you'd want in this car. So you may be wondering why they didn't fit this vehicle with the small capacity turbocharged engine. But when you look at the segment as a whole, displacement still means a lot for the consumer looking to buy a car such as this. So for a big car, spending over 400,000 Rand, you don't really want to say you drive a 1.2 litre. And yes, that 1.2 litre does produce more power, but it does sound more weighty when you say, I drive a 2 litre car, which is exactly the case in this vehicle. But it's worthwhile to note that this car does have a CVT gearbox, and if you know me well, you'll know that I do not like CVT gearboxes. That being said though, this one does feel less obtrusive than others, and it doesn't have that whine that keeps on going and going and going. The overall driving experience in this new Corolla is quite fuss-free, and because it doesn't have a turbocharger, it doesn't have that much excitement to it as well. But do you really need excitement in a Corolla? I don't think so. Because as radical as they want to be on the outside, this car needs to stay to the age-old Toyota Corolla recipe, which is built on reliability, comfort, and simply getting the job done. We can unequivocally say that Toyota has knocked this new Corolla out the park. But who's its buyer? Its only real competitors are the Mazda 3 sedan and the Honda Civic. But those cars don't really sell well in the country to begin with. So, if you're one of those unicorns looking for a sedan in this segment, the new Toyota Corolla will not disappoint you.